Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Reacts where today we got ourselves a track from an act named TRAYDAM3NACE titled March. And if we switch over to here, we've got ourselves a track on Spotify now. I should note before we get into this, this track is available on all major digital streaming platforms as well as including Apple Music. I'm using it on Spotify simply because I've just got Spotify subscription, but it'll be available wherever else you want to find it. Got the art up here on the screen for this. Apparently this is also a diss track for Joey Badass, if I'm not mistaken. Not really familiar with the lore surrounding Joey Badass, but it'll be good to check out more. We're going to listen through this track from start till finish, and we're going to hear what we think. Let's get into it, let's go. Nice use of choir chops here.
Fuck you, Grady.
Sugar bug on bug, sugar crack smile. Pokey fiend, bitch got a crack vibe. Eye crimson on the room after the Mac growl. Stage be volatile, Jovan act foul. Whole vine, you want calamity still. Turn to York in the Amityville. Bad style finna cry the whole summer. Keep your head high, boy, you fucking with a drum. March this way, march that way, march this way, march that way, march this way, march that way, march this way, march that. Gucci suit beam ripping your fashion. Elder abuse mutilating the has-been. 3 a.m. top of the trash can. Fucked them up far worse than Kardashian. Started this penthouse burning, posting the arsonist. Sniper yearning, loading the cartridges on the terrace. Bloody fashion week, shot niggas in Paris. Gasoline leak, bombs deployed. Came to flash, pole destroyed. Nigga fame Polaroid on a pro club. Blood stained in a hot tub. Tony Montana picked off a nose rub. March this way, march that way.
Good wordplay. Going back to the
fucking line. March that way. You could never be us. March that way, never. March this way, march that. On kangaroo neck, vocal cord burst. Out your neck, out the west. Ass whooping dispersed. Till the RN ain't shit getting nursed. Open bar in, Joey hard off hearse. Reverse your stance on the west. I'm orthodox, I'm part distress. Send your dome the Lux address. Make sure how we tucks press. Emerge and get purged. It faded when I'm urged. Car gets submerged. Pro error purge. Play to the left, crapped out. Steez on tees. Joey tapped out. Bitch. March this way. March that way. Beat out your chest.
Kind of makes me wonder how many choruses we're going to have.
March that way. Watch your march this way. March that way. March this way. March that. Joey's in power. Never in power. Whenever race in Cali, oh, we get a last shower. On this final wild. Tryna call Herb. When you mention West, nigga, ain't shit sure. All sins against the West must be atoned for in blood.
Great sound design.
Snakes out, heard they listening in. Wax off, no hissing again. Muay Thai, Cobra Kai, pan fry, holy pig style, yo, I go anti-pork. Not on my fort, it's too easy. Walk down the door, lemon squeezy, put him in pork. Drop shot kangaroo, pop champagne cork, drag. Bitch, we raised those. Glaciers hit Iceman till the face froze. Joey bad bitch, average at best. Heel toe his tune, he fuck with the West. Shake down rooms, temperature test. Punching whole niggas right in they breast. Jamie Lee Curtis, Leslie low bitches. 2 slow bitches, in the body switches. Hi, hey, Joey bad bitch, want a Freaky Friday. 6'9" God, want a Freaky Friday. Tryna wear can skin up, Freaky Friday. Hi, hey, hi, hey. Hi, hey, Joey bad bitch, want a Freaky Friday. 6'9" God, want a Freaky Friday. Tryna wear can skin up, Freaky Friday. Hi, hey, hi, hey. You niggas is weird.
No, honestly, I'm really impressed with that one. That was a really good diss track. I was wondering if, when I paused the track, I was wondering how many of those kind of verse chorus stanzas we were going to have for it to completely flip on that bell there at the end was just really cool. But we're going to talk about this track more in the conclusion. So we also got sent a copy of the lyrics courtesy of TRAYDAM3NACE. This is quite a lot going on here. Sugar booger on booger, sugar crack smell. Just I like the cadence, the rhythm of that flow of that is nice. We also allow breaks in between some of the lines as well, which is really good. However, when you want calamity still, turn you New York or Amityville. Now that's good wordplay there. Keep your head high, boy. Fuck with the drummer. March this way. Working with the march thing after being mainly sort of percussive was a smart idea. Bloodstained in a hot tub, Tony Montana picked up off a nose rub. I mean, it's good stuff, man. It's genuinely good stuff. open bar and Joey hauled off Hurst, reversed your stance on the West. Joe is in power, never rains in Cali, Hoey get a lead shower. I mean, it's all sins against the West must be atoned for in blood. And there we go, the heaviness of those bells. I hey Joey bitch, want a Freaky Friday, trying to wear a Ken skin now, Freaky Friday, I hey. I think I kind of get what the track is about though. We're going to talk about it more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an act named TRAYDAM3NACE titled March. In this section I'm going to be providing an overall song analysis of everything from, the vocals all the way through the production, as well as any applicable constructive critique, and then finally my general thoughts from a listener's perspective. But first of all, what do we think this track is about? I think ultimately there's just a whole lot of different ways that we are displaying our displeasure with Joey, but there's also a lot of nuance there contextually that I'm not necessarily sure of. I just don't think I'm familiar enough with the lore of Joey Badass to really sort of comment on this too much. I nonetheless liked, the Tony Montana and the different sort of pop culture references and everything like that. I thought some of the cadences and rhythmic stanzas that we had vocally were very good. I like the relaxed sort of vocal style that TRAYDAM3NACE put forward there. I thought that was really neat. I like the sense of humor with some parts as well. It shows that they weren't taking themselves as seriously, but they also had a sense of focus and an exposure of what they were trying to sort of discuss with the bells tolling for Joey, I just feel that's very clever stuff. Ending it as well with saying that they were just kind of weird, I think was just sensible, because it just kind of taking it all in once is kind of a surreal experience. Just getting to the point where you just realize, yeah, this is just a strange experience, and I don't really know what to make of these people. It's kind of a cool way to finish things. It's almost dismissive in the best possible way. But we're very comfortable on the microphone. The words come through clearly. I've got no issues whatsoever with how we communicated. The production quality was good as well. The vocals were nice and clear, nice and neatly compressed and EQ'd. Had a sense of awareness with a lot of the rhythmic percussive textures that you had within the track, but also knew enough to be on their own as well. The vocal range that we're in was well positioned in amongst those strings. For example, it didn't need to compete with any of the basses, which are in a lower octave than it. The drums and percussion punched and sort of sidechained as well, so that was good. And we were very comfortable with not only having our main vocals, but also some double tracked parts as well, and then like vocal overdubs and adjustments on how we communicated through the different choruses as well. And we added enough variety to keep things compelling throughout. Outside of a really sort of competent vocal performance, though, we had a track which is 3 minutes 24, was comprised of various sort of choir takes there, as well as sort of mainly percussion, bass, and sort of string stabs, as well as a few other things that we'll talk about. I thought that beginning the track with those vocal sort of chops was really neat. It added sort of ethereal kind of spiritual element to the piece there, like it was the end of days for this person, the apocalypse, and I kind of dig that. It was very authoritative, the track telling them to march this way, march that way. I think it was TRAYDAM3NACE trying to take control of the situation, and basically like they were a puppet master in control of the situation. And the choir was basically hearkening the dawn of their new era and domination. We had a nice balance of 808s as well, working the root notes of the bass lines and the harmonies really well. I think we typically stayed with one note within the key sig, and that was totally fine with the root, It didn't necessarily need to change too much. We had some sort of sharp rises for a bit of dramatic tension there. That was cool. It wasn't an all-the-time thing though, so it wasn't overplayed. And the kicks and the snares and claps that we had a range of quarters, eighths, and sixteenths there, with some interesting cymbal patterns there that formed a nice sort of sub-layer. It wasn't like a constant thing either. There were sometimes cymbals. I feel like if the cymbals were too often, it would have kind of been too constant. In fact, did we even really have cymbals in the first place, or am I just confusing it for a different type of sort of snare texture? Well, we definitely had them in the last part. We had those kind of recents there, a more sort of like colorful harmony there. It was almost like an A and B side to the piece after the bells came through. The bells had a great tone to them, and they were a nice callback to the choir that we had at the start of the piece there. Like we were getting to the next stage of our proclamation. And there were occasional sort of resource sort of like alt layer leads on the side there or in the center that, because of our lack of trying to be too melodic with our vocals in the main part of the song, it allowed just plenty of room to sort of they had plenty of room to wriggle around and breathe. That's what the beauty of working within that root note as the main bass line. I also like the fact that at some parts, I know you could hear like the vocals go really far onto the side, and it was a kind of more dramatic theatrical thing in general. I like the structure of this track primarily because it wasn't predictable, and in the moment where you thought you kind of got the hang of it, it switched things up at that stage. It was almost like we had an awareness of exactly how far we could push things before we took it too far. The vocal performance there, the way we rapped over the top of the beat there, was the thing that kind of helped to tie it together there. And I just think it's a sensible use of time. And when a track is 2 to 4 minutes, it's got enough time to provide the context it needs without overdoing things. So I don't think there was any filler within this. Again, I'm really happy that we switched things up instrumentally within that second half. And it was just, yeah, probably one of the more sort of like progressive rap tracks I've heard in a bit. Even the keys there with a relatively simple idea they presented melodically or harmonically there was just enough to provide a bit of mid-range and upper range sort of color within the piece. Thematically minor oriented for obvious reasons there. This isn't a happy situation they're in. Clearly there's a bit of depth and sort of drama and tension to it. And I think they do it here whilst remaining authoritative. We didn't overcomplicate the harmonies too much. We didn't provide any extensions or sort of susses or anything like that. I don't think we needed to here. We're trying to keep it relatively accessible, and I think it works well from any sort of vocal percussive focus. Studio recording, mixing and mastering is peak. Really happy with the way that that's presented. I thought things in general were handled well with the vocal processing, nice and clear within the mix, not too sort of compressed or choked there. Nice sort of glow with the EQing there. The words came through clearly from the post as well. Any of the bass, drum, synth, key, bells, other vocal chops, etc. were positioned well within the stereo field. Music surrounded you in the headphones. The vocal was presented in different patterns as well, which was nice. As well as the drums kind of moving around a bit in the synths as well. It was just careful attention to that in that regard. There are also no weird resonant frequencies within the frequency spectrum, which was kind of cool. I appreciate that. We didn't kind of like, ruin the experience by like having the bass too resonant or anything like that. Like it sounds dope through a car stereo, don't get me wrong. The side chaining of the kicks and other sort of lower parts is very good as well. Ultimately, the fundamentals are adhered to. And it's nice and loud. Bit of pumping, bass compression, limiting is handled. And ultimately, I think there's no real applicable constructive critique for this. It's just a really great first impression to TRAYDAM3NACE's work. Final general thoughts from a listener's perspective. I just like how sort of calm and confident TRAYDAM3NACE was. It was just great to hear someone with a kind of quiet charisma that allowed them to communicate like this. I want to sort of roll with them on their journey that they're going for with this. I think it's really cool. And I think that that's kind of a successful track in that regard, It was a pleasure to listen to and a pleasure to review. And I wish them all the best of luck in future with the music. But thank you very much for watching my review of this track from TRAYDAM3NACE titled March. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show us some love via their various social medias and their Spotify page, as well as their Apple Music page. And stay cool and stay safe. And please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with crazy stuff going on in the world. And I will catch you in the next SB Reacts. Spiderhands out.